Ever wonder what's really behind the headlines? Or why certain theories just won't go away? Dive into the world of the No Name Podcast, your go-to podcast for unraveling the mysteries of conspiracies, politics, and everyday life. Each week, we blend our opinions, analysis, with some storytelling to uncover the hidden layers of our world. From the latest political intrigue to the most fascinating conspiracy theories, we bring you a balanced dose of skepticism and insight. Whether you're a seasoned critical thinker or just curious about the whispers that swirl around us, we offer a space where your questions are welcome, and your mind can wander freely. Tune in, spark your curiosity, and let's embark on this journey of discovery together. The No Name Podcast, where every episode is a new chance to think critically and see the world through a different lens. Don't miss out. Subscribe today and join the conversation.
Well, Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. This is Jeremy coming to you from the No Name Podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's Dustin. Merry Christmas. And
that's where Trey would have said something, but of course, once again, he's still not here.
Yeah, he would have said, I'll just do it for him. It's your boy, Trey.
yeah,
but
Trey.
But I'll make sure, since he's absent, to give y'all enough watch this for the show. We love you, Trey. We miss you, man. Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah, he's out getting his Christmas shopping done and all that, whatever. You know, we kind of knew when we started this, we were going to have at some point, there was going to be a lack of somebody somewhere. So
yeah,
we've hit that this past couple weeks. So
yeah. I mean, I had my thing. I had to be gone, but life happens, man.
I will say, since this podcast happens in my house, if I'm not here, the show didn't happen.
Yeah,
so.
If you're not here, something's wrong.
Although I guess I could just let you guys in and just say, hey, go for it. So
I wouldn't know what to do. We're not the tech guys. We don't know how to work that.
Well, I hope everybody is, I assume a lot of people will probably listen to this after Christmas. Because, I guess our diehard fans may listen to us on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
But, which we appreciate you for listening if you're one of those.
Appreciate you no matter when you listen.
But it's been a busy season for me this year. I'm more of a Thanksgiving guy, like I've said before. Yeah, it's
the Merc holiday.
For me, it just feels like a lot less pressure. It's still busy, but not like this, where you're having to constantly run to a store and, oh gosh, I gotta buy for that. Oh, I gotta buy for that. Oh, I gotta buy for that.
Oh man, I was gonna buy that. Now it's gone.
Oh, my kid wants a car. Oh, my kid wants a Xbox, whatever they're on, or PlayStation 5, or a new iPhone 19 that's not out for another 3
iPad.
years.
People still use iPads. The new iPad.
Hey,
now they're getting hoverboards and stuff.
Well, don't get them a drone, because we all see what's happened there. Holy smokes.
Wow.
You got to definitely be careful with that.
I'm not sure if this is true, and I know this isn't the topic for the day, but you brought it up. I heard that Elon Musk's brother, Trey's not here, so I can say Elon.
I was literally waiting for the fallout from Elon.
He's a demon. He's an evil man. Anyway, I heard Elon's brother actually owns a drone company. So how ironic is that? You have Elon, who's now in Trump's cabinet. I guess he's in Trump's cabinet, correct?
Yeah.
Now he's somewhat in power, and he's also the spearhead of this whole electric cars and AI, and then you have this influx and all this drone activity going on, and then I come to find out his brother's actually runs a drone company who, from my understanding, puts on these big elaborate shows too, at like these sporting events and these music events, and lights up the sky and these drones and everything. And now we're having all this drone activity going on. So I'm not just saying there could be something there.
What do you think about that, Trey? I'll take your silence as you love it.
Watch this.
Elon. Wait. Let's hear. Yep, his silence. So yeah, Trey loves the idea.
He loves Elon.
All right.
I'm gonna get him a Tesla hoodie for Christmas.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I just gotta ask my brother-in-law where he got his from, and
Could probably make one on the Cricket.
Love you, Jess.
So what are you guys doing for Christmas?
I know we're gonna be doing French Christmas.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Other than that, I know we've already went and installed Christmas lights like like we normally do for Christmas. We go to church. We're going to be going to our church service.
Do you guys have any like family traditions or anything?
I mean,
I guess like seeing lights is probably tradition.
yeah,
but
that's a tradition. I know growing up, my whole family got together for Christmas Eve. We used to always get together for Christmas Eve, and we would spend Christmas Eve together. Give each other gifts, celebrate, that sort of thing. But I know since I've gotten older, that's kind of not drifted off. We don't do that anymore. We'll call each other Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. We get together with my in-laws. We used to have a Christmas party with some of her family and stuff like that. And we still do every couple years or so. We will. But this year it's going to be kind of small, just intimate family, just us and my in-laws.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do Christmas Eve with my in-laws. So we do that. And then on Christmas Day, my whole family will come over around 6 usually. So we'll have our normal 40, 50, 60 people, depending on how many.
Oh, that's a lot of people, man. I tell you, growing up, that's probably how big ours was when I was growing up. We all used to, I was raised with my grandparents, so I lived with them, and everybody would come to our house, my grandparents' house, and it was such a small house, and trying to pack all those people into that tiny little place, it was crazy. But certainly probably doesn't feel that way here, But,
yeah, I mean, it can, depending on where people gather, but we'll end up doing a white elephant
those are always so
situation with my family, so it definitely gets fun when you have that many people doing a white elephant.
White elephant's always super fun. I love white elephant, man. It's so fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, that's probably for my extended family. That's probably one of our traditions is the white elephant, and we haven't gone to see Christmas lights this year, other than just riding around on the golf cart and looking at a couple neighborhoods around here.
Yeah. There's a farm that we go to. I can't remember the name of it, but they do like hot chocolate and things like that. And you walk the farm and see all the Christmas lights and everything. And we've started doing that every year, and that's super
cool.
fun. They do like fake snow. They have a snow machine where it's blowing snow out. It's super super fun. And the kids love it. They eat it up.
Yeah, we've thought about going over to the botanical before the end of the season and checking that out. That looks pretty cool.
I've never been.
Yeah, I'll let you know when we go. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. I know we used to go to the Lanier Islands Night of Lights where you could drive through it.
Yeah,
and they closed that down. And
oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy to me because they had been open since I'd been kid.
That place is slam packed. It's no shortage of money.
It's been closed now for about 4 or 5 years.
There was no shortage of money being made there.
I don't know why they closed it. They said they were closing it and they had no plans to reopen.
Wow,
and that was like a real tradition. I mean, that place had been around forever.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, it was even COVID safe because you stayed in your car.
You stayed in your car.
Wasn't even a super spreader event.
6 feet. 6 feet. Was it the 6 feet?
Yeah, 6 feet.
6 feet. 6 feet.
I heard this thing the other day that was
Elf. Whenever he's like 6 inches, 6 inches ribbon curls.
I heard this thing the other day talking about 6 feet. I hate to talk about COVID for a second, but it was saying that they were saying 6 feet in the dirt and then 6 feet from other people. And I was like, whoa, that kind of hit hard for a second. I'm like, okay,
think about that, huh?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Quite the correlation there.
There's a lot of things that correlate. It's amazing. We don't need to venture off.
No.
You're not going to get me started on Christmas episode. Speaking of history, though, and where things originate, I want to talk a little bit about the history of Christmas. So do your kids, I'm sure your kids do, you've taught your kids the meaning of Christmas and what Christmas is supposed to be and,
oh, yeah,
Jesus and things like that. What kind of gets me about Christmas, though, is I get it. We use Christmas Day to celebrate Jesus' birthday. That's what it's supposed to be, a celebration of his birthday, even though that's not his birthday.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of people don't know that, or I think a lot of people either don't know or they're just misinformed. And then they teach their kids that this is Jesus' birthday, this is Jesus' birthday, instead of teaching them this is when we celebrate Jesus' birthday. But also now it's kind of gotten to where it's just all about gifts, and it's all about presents, and it's all about the food,
commercialization,
the Christmas lights. And
see, I'm okay with it being about food on some level, though, because, part of the Christian belief is that you have a meal with your family, and that's, like good family time. So I'm okay with the food piece of it. I don't like the commercialization.
No, I don't either.
I mean, that part has just gotten out of control.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I don't like that either. And then they mostly, have you noticed too, that they celebrate Santa Claus way more than they do Jesus? Way more than they do Jesus. Santa is up in front before anything.
And let me preface this: if you're listening to this with your kids, you may want to turn it off and listen on your own.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're about to get into some stuff.
We're just gonna say beforehand, Merry Christmas, and I would now have your child exit the room. With that.
We do try to hold a family show here so that everybody can listen.
And I'm not saying it's not going to be. I'm not going to say anything bad.
No. I'm just saying in general. I let my kids listen to this show.
I think I've waited long enough now, and your child should not be listening to this now. But Santa was invented by Coca-Cola.
Was the polar bear also invented by Coca-Cola?
No, but Santa was. And I mean, think about it. They took St. Nicholas, who was actually a real person, but who religiously was already kind of like falling off good graces and everything. And they used this to turn him into a good person and a jolly old fat white man, and gave him their color, red, suit. And it's all about giving kids toys and giving kids sugar and making everything happy. And they completely took religion out of it. But they take religion out of a lot of things. They took religion out of Halloween. I mean, we've already talked about that. Halloween was a holy holiday.
So what do you think about like an atheist that might put up a Christmas tree and celebrate Christmas? Are they hypocritical to their non-beliefs, or are they just celebrating the pagan side of it? Because so if you look at a little bit of the history of Christmas, they talk about how the pagans used to celebrate the quote-unquote Christmas season as winter solace.
Winter solstice.
Solstice. And they would do dancing and singing and have large feasts and celebrate the longer days in the sunshine.
And you're describing the modern day Christmas. I mean, that's what you're describing. It's modern day Christmas.
But I hear a lot of your ultra religious conservative or ultra religious Christians talk about, well, why are people that don't believe in Jesus celebrating Christmas? And it's like, well, if you look at the original Christmas holiday, it was more of just like a winter break almost.
Yeah, it was a winter party, so to speak.
So it's like,
so what that was, and I'm not trying to cut you off.
You're good.
What that was and what pagans actually celebrated was what's called Yule. And then, I'm sure everyone's heard of the Yule log.
I've heard of the Yuletide Carol.
Yeah, the Yuletide Carol. Well, that's because they gathered around and they sang. They sang and they hung out with their friends and family, and they celebrated the end of the year and all the dark things that, may have troubled you throughout the year. You burn the log and you're celebrating the ending of the year and bringing in the new year, the bringing in the whole new year, celebrating the winter season. And they would drag the log through the woods, Christmas tree, burn it, because fire signified purity. They're burning away all the dark stuff that happened and the bad stuff that happened throughout the year. You're celebrating the end of the year. All right. Later on, also they would, decorate trees and so, whatnot, but they didn't use things like we use now where they string Christmas lights up and they put all these different Christmas ornaments on it. They would put natural things on there, just things from the earth or whatever, decorate it with what they had. Back then it was just stuff that you had from the earth. You may carve a little carving or put a ribbon on it or whatever. It didn't matter. But that's what they did. They ate food, they gathered around, they hung out with friends and family, they laughed, they sang songs, they drank wine or whatever, and just celebrated, had a big party. And then now we've modernized that.
I think they say about in the fourth generation is when they started bringing Jesus into it and kind of declared December 25th as Jesus' birthday, which we all know is more in the March to April
More
side of
around
things.
Easter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of confusing for me the more I kind of dove into that years ago, why we did that on Christmas instead of doing that around Easter.
So that's what I get to a lot of times with Christianity and paganism and these other things, because a lot of the Christianity beliefs stem from paganism and pagans in general. They kept a lot of the pagans' way of thinking and the way of doing things, and actually shoved off a lot of their beliefs, because they said, okay, we're going to keep what we like and get rid of what we don't like. So we're going to keep Christmas, quote unquote, Yule, Christmas, around the same time period, do all this because we like that. We don't see anything wrong with that. But we're going to celebrate Jesus on this day and modernize it in Christianity. Today, we see Christmas in what we see it and how we see it today, and the way we celebrate it today. Yeah, it's strange. It's hard to explain too.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gets a little dicey when you start looking at all the facts, because of course when you Google something, you get 50 different answers, if not more, and trying to cipher through what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
What was just written on Wikipedia.
Yeah, good old wiki. The good old wiki.
So, how do you feel about the symbolism of the Christmas tree?
I think the Christmas tree was derived from pagans. It's another one of those things that they liked. They liked the way that they decorated this tree and the way that they celebrated the earth and lighting it with lights and decorating, making it real pretty and everything. And then you could put the Christian star on top of the tree, or the Star of Bethlehem on top of the tree, or an angel on top of the tree.
So Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King, but just Martin Luther, was a big proponent of a lot of the traditions, I guess you would call them, that we do for the Christmas period.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the ones that brought in the Christmas tree, which I find it interesting that a lot of people cut down a tree, which is now dead.
Yeah.
And then that's supposed to represent eternal life.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is.
You bring in a tree to your house that's dying and it represents eternal life. But I don't know. I mean, we do it anyway. I mean, we bring out a fake tree. I would say that's eternal.
I have a fake tree, and I don't want anybody to listen to this and think that I am bashing Christmas, or I am.
No.
That is not what I'm doing. What I am saying is I just like for everybody to take a look at it and really dig down deep and to see where Christmas came from. And don't just look at this and say, oh, well, this is the right way of doing things and this way over here is completely wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of approach it from the aspect of what the real meaning of the season is.
Yeah.
Instead of just approaching it all from gifts. I mean, yeah, we buy our kids stuff for Christmas, and but the funny thing is I was listening to my kids talk the other day, and I don't know if they knew that I was listening, but one of them was saying, oh yeah, I used to get really excited for Christmas for the gifts and everything. It's not the same anymore.
Yeah.
But they really love all of the things about Christmas, like getting together with family, the Christmas service, learning about Jesus and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, if we can just continue that, then I feel like we're doing good.
I think that happens as kids get a little bit older too. I think whenever they're super young and they're really young, obviously they're going to be really excited about the presents and Santa Claus and all this other stuff. And so
do your kids believe in Santa Claus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they do. They do. Because I didn't want to take that little bit of they're really young right now, and I like for them to have fun. I like for them to use their imagination. I like for them to have the magic of Christmas, so to speak, and really dive into all that and the elves and everything. And and as they get older, obviously, we'll tell them.
The interesting thing
they also know Christmas is supposed to be celebrating Jesus' birthday.
Right. And the interesting thing is when you kind of try to make that transition, which you'll run into the same thing I did, where you're like, I might as well just go ahead and break this to all three of them at the same time instead of trying to piecemeal it together, because usually once one or two of them know, it's a cat's out of the bag at that point. So we just hit them all three at the same time.
Yeah.
My daughter was about to come into middle school, and I was like, okay. I told my wife, I'm like, because she was kind of on the fence. She had questions.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is the last thing I want is for her to be like, I didn't know what the protocol was in school, but I was like, I do not want her to be the only sixth grader that's
in 7th and 8th grade going, Santa's real.
I literally saw those posts today in my town that somebody was whining about. I don't even know what business it was, but one of the people was talking about Santa not being real or something in front of her kid.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert. The kid was 14 years old. 14 years old. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this boy has a beard by now.
Oh my gosh. Wow, they kept the magic alive with that one for a long time.
I don't even know how that's possible. I mean,
I don't either. Like, wow.
So
kudos to them though, man. Hey,
you've lied to your kid for this much longer. Go
that lie.
Go you.
The truth of Santa Claus is as real as saying that how healthy this Coke Zero is for me. As much truth in that as there is in Santa Claus.
Yeah,
I want to circle back around though to your question though when you asked me an atheist celebrating Christmas or putting a Christmas tree up, would that make them hypocritical? And I want to say no. And the reason I'm going to say no is because of how modernized we've made Christmas and everything that we've made Christmas about in today's time, where it's we celebrate Christmas trees and the Christmas lights and Santa Claus and the gifts and everything, and we've made all that more so the upfront focal point and put religion on the back burner of it. So It's still there, but it's more of an afterthought as more so than the Christmas season and Christmas and the glitz and the glamour of Christmas. So no, I'm gonna say no. I don't think it's any more hypocritical than us as Christians putting up a Christmas tree and completely ignoring the fact that we got it from pagans.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, if you're going to put a Christmas tree up in your house, then
I'm not trying to shame you.
Yeah.
But how much money do you spend at Christmas on gifts?
Oh, gosh, man.
Just a ballpark.
Does this include just my kids?
I would say let's do 2 parts. Just the kids and then the whole thing.
Just the kids. I'm going to say a ballpark of around 4.
100 or 1,000?
No, 100.
Oh, okay.
$300-400 because my kids are little. Like
that's fair.
As they get older, the gifts are going to get more expensive. I'm sure, but obviously.
So how about the whole shebang?
$1,000.
And that includes the 300?
Yeah.
And do you buy for you? Do you and your wife buy for each other, or are y'all in a position where you just focus on the kids?
We get each other something small.
Yeah. So we've always done that. I think this is the first year. I'm going to try to hold out and see how it goes. Yeah. And if I end up where she buys me something and I have got her nothing, I'm just going to be that guy.
Yeah.
But we've talked about it, and we're going to go with nothing because I think at this point I'm probably spending $1,200 on just kids.
Yeah.
And probably over 2,000 on the whole shebang.
Gotcha.
And it's like, that's what the whole thing has become.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you either save up or you put yourself in debt, one or the other, and then you spend the year trying to pay it off. And it's like,
it's funny because as the kids are really young, like mine are, I know people, and I got friends who they just go all out for Christmas for their kids at a very young age. It doesn't matter how old they get. Us, it's like, okay, they get so much throughout the year anyway.
Yeah.
They have so many things that they don't play with. They play with it for a little while, then they stop playing with it. So I'm going to get them things that I know that they're going to really, really like and have fun with, and then they're going to be done with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm going to spend like $300 or $400, and get them things I know they're going to really enjoy, have fun, and then it's going to be done, just like everything else. But they're going to be so excited because they're going to open up all this stuff at one time. But as they get older, their tastes are going to get more expensive.
Yeah.
It's going to get more expensive, but it's going to get to one of those things where they get less gifts, but it's more expensive.
Yeah.
But then as they get even older, then it's going to be like, hey, you get one thing, man. You get one thing, or you get some money, whatever. That's it. So it goes in patterns.
I had this
spend a lot, or you don't spend a lot. You spend a lot, and then you just spend less again.
Yeah. I had this theory, and I don't know if I could ever get anybody on board in my house, is like, how about for Christmas we do one thing per person, and that's it. But for your birthday, I'll go all out.
Yeah.
Because on birthdays, we don't really go all out.
Yeah.
I think birthday budgets, we try to keep, I don't know, probably about $150 or less.
Yeah.
And like just gift wise, not like if we're doing like a party, God knows a birthday party anymore. You know, you're spending
Oh yeah, man.
just balling out on a
man.
birthday party
Yeah.
itself. But the gift itself, you know, I'm like, hey, how about for Christmas if we just focused on Jesus and just did one thing? That way, at least the Christmas tree wasn't empty. You know,
Yeah.
you have one thing that you may have really wanted and then just ball out on your birthday. Of course, my middle son, his birthday's in February, so he'll be like, yes.
Yeah, my birthday's in February. Yeah.
Mine too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he'd be like, yes, let's do it. My other ones that are at the end of the year are like, oh, dang it. I gotta wait.
I gotta wait all this time. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I've had this thought rolling around in my head, and I'm like, I don't know if I pitched it. I don't know if it would fly or not. But
So, what do y'all do or where do you stand with the food thing? Like, what do you guys do for food for Christmas? Do y'all do kind of stick more toward the Thanksgiving meal plan?
we do that, but more ham, less turkey, maybe some pot roast action.
Yeah.
That's kind of where. For our immediate family, I don't really have to worry about doing a Christmas dinner because that's the night that my family always comes over.
Yeah.
So for like breakfast, a lot of times I'll cook breakfast. I'll do the bacon, the eggs, the pancakes, all that stuff after we get done opening up presents or whatever, and just kind of do a nice big breakfast, and then we won't eat lunch. We'll have that, have the big dinner later. So that's kind of how we usually accomplish that from our end. And then another quote-unquote tradition we used to do it on Christmas Eve, but then when we moved my wife's family over to Christmas Eve, we do it Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So on the 23rd, my immediate family, just, me and Amanda and the kids, we just do, oh gosh, I hate to say this after we just did that episode the other day or the other week about poison food.
Food.
But we do nothing but processed frozen food, man. We'll do cheese sticks, poppers, pizza rolls. Like, we'll just fire up the oven, throw it in, and just have just one little
good old American.
Yeah, I mean, we just
American
do one appetizer after another. Not all at one time, just back to back. You know.
You know what I would really like to do? I would like to get friends and family that would be in for doing it with me one time, and I would like to do like a real traditional Christmas dinner or something where we go out, the meat that we eat, we go out and we hunt it and we kill it, and that's what we eat. We make that the main focal point, and then everybody, makes sides.
Do you have any friends with a farm that we can just go shoot their cow in the middle?
Well, we ain't got to do a cow. We can eat deer.
I'd rather have a cow.
Well, I'm sure we could go to a local farmer or a local butcher and buy a roast or something.
Well, it's not the same if you don't kill it yourself.
They are killing it.
Yeah, but you're not killing it, I'm
what I'm saying.
saying.
Killing it, but I'm saying.
But aren't you saying the traditional and the fact that
absolutely.
you kill it?
I would love to do that. I'd love to go out and kill a deer or something like that. But you said you'd rather have cow, so
You could still go out and kill a cow.
are they gonna let me kill the cow?
That's what I'm saying. Do you have any friends that have a farm?
I do not. But tell you what, if we can get one of those local farms and say, hey, I'm still going to support your local business, but I want to kill the cow.
There you go.
If they'll let me, then I'll do it.
I've got some people.
Hey, well, there you go. But you see what I'm saying? I think that'd be a really cool, like, real traditional, either Thanksgiving feast or Christmas feast. Go out and do it the real traditional way.
Yeah.
If you're all about tradition and you want to do traditional Christmas or Yule, whatever you want to call it.
That would suck if you were trying to kill a deer and you never came across one. You're like, dang.
Well, then you
Guess we're gonna have to put this. We're gonna have to put this dinner off.
You just have whatever you catch. The meat would be whatever you catch, whether it be squirrel, rabbit, deer, whatever.
Yeah, that would be. I would almost be on board.
You'd almost be on board.
Almost be on board. I have to check with my friends with the cow situation first, and then I can really sign off on it.
But I know that we got to wrap up here soon. But so I want to get your take real quick though on where you stand at looking at Christmas and Yule and derived Christmas coming from pagans, and then the look that Christians have on pagans. paganism. They give them such a bad outlook and such a negative
Yeah.
outlook. Whenever the holiday you celebrate, you took it from here. So you're basically celebrating the same thing. The only difference is you've now said, we're going to justify this by saying we're going to celebrate Jesus' birthday.
Well, the way I look at it is it's kind of like what I said for the Halloween, is that I think as a Christian, you just kind of pick and choose what you take, and you change the narrative for your family.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same as like if you have a certain tradition that you like to do on your birthday, like, oh, every year on my birthday, I like to go watch a movie and go to Longhorns or something, it's just, that's what I like to do. Right. It would almost be like doing that. Or a lot of fathers have Father's Day traditions. I want to, stay on the grill all day and cook for everybody and be so tired by the end of the day that I can't move.
Yeah.
And on Mother's Day, I want to do the same. But, everybody has their own tradition for that. And it kind of feels like that for Christmas. For me, is like we pick and choose. And yeah, like I said, we buy stuff for the kids. But at the end of the day, my kids know the meaning of Christmas. Mm-hmm. And to us, the meaning of Christmas is celebrating Jesus' birth, which is really hard to explain to them that it's not really his birth. But that's when we as Christians have been, I guess, told that we're to acknowledge it. So that's kind of how we handle it from our end. We go and we buy into the traditional Christmas tree, the, Christmas decorations. I mean, I've got the Tubi man outside right now, just flailing his hands.
I saw him when I got here. I started to do the dance in the driveway.
I'm going to have to look up my camera to see if I got that on there.
But, I mean, we do too. We celebrate Christmas the exact same way you do. And whenever I say Christians did this, I don't want anybody to take it as I'm saying it the wrong way. I am a Christian, so I celebrate Jesus' birthday on Christmas as well. But look at it this way. If that's not in fact his birthday, and that's just the day that we acknowledge to celebrate it, if that's not his birthday, couldn't you celebrate Jesus' birthday at any day of the year?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we pick and choose, like you said. And a lot of times was where I have an issue too with religion in general is I feel that people have decided to pick and choose anyway.
Yeah.
So not only are you picking and choosing this holiday that is Christmas, but you're also picking and choosing what you believe in general.
Yeah.
And what you believe to be true and what you don't believe to be true anyway. That's what I go back to all the entire time in the Bible is whenever things were removed or whatever, they picked and chose. They pick and chose what they wanted to be in there and what they didn't want to be in there. And then in reality, if that's God's word, it's not up to you to pick and choose. That's his word. That's the truth. You leave it all in there.
Well, I mean, that's
good,
what
bad and indifferent.
That's what we've talked about before when we've had the spirituality episode and stuff like that. Is that a lot of Christians will try to find a church that aligns with their belief instead of aligning with God's word.
Yeah.
So,
and I didn't want to get off topic or
no. I mean, it's about Jesus. So.
It's about Jesus.
But how many times have you ever seen somebody that church just isn't for me? Like, well, what's wrong with the church? You really start diving in. Well, I don't feel like, to quote Trey, who decided not to be here today, your feelings don't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, your feelings don't matter in that. What matters is the truth. But I will say, when you're trying to get to heaven, if that's your main goal as a Christian is to go to heaven, which I think, most people, that's your main goal, you have to decipher a little bit because all of the answers are not in the Bible. So your walk with God still matters to the point of you have to actually see, okay, am I okay to do this? And if you have a conviction about something, that's probably your sign not to do that.
Right.
So if there's a Christian that feels convicted about not celebrating Christmas, maybe that's your sign. I have not had that conviction. So, because again, we try to keep Jesus at the forefront as much as possible.
And that's good.
So that's kind of how we're approaching it, is just keeping him in the forefront. I haven't had that conviction that I shouldn't be celebrating Christmas.
No, I haven't either.
So I would say we're in good shape there, but it's like I said, even on Halloween, when you kind of dive into the origin of it, it was started out as a holy day and it just got twisted. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that, I guess Christmas could be the opposite. It started out as just a paganistic winter celebration, and now it's kind of transformed into Jesus' birthday.
I think that happened too a lot with Christianity getting introduced to this as well.
Yeah.
So,
But we here at the No Name Podcast want to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Or, never mind, I'm not going to say it.
Happy Yule.
It's better. I was thinking of another phrase that starts with HH, but I don't even want to say it. Happy Holiday.
Oh,
God.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. There we go. Hanukkah. We hope everybody has a great Christmas. Enjoy some time with your family. Don't forget to put Jesus at the forefront of it because he is the reason for the season.
That's right.
So we will talk to you next week.
Yep. Remember, truth's out there. Read between the lines. Merry Christmas.
And I guess if we were going to wait for Trey to be like, yeah.
Yeah.